So the way you get to the class notebook is you're in one of your teams. So I'm in my pragmatics one right now, and then from here you need to go to the general tab, and then when you've and it almost always takes some time to load in. That was actually really fast. It's often quite annoying and it will make you wait for several seconds. And then once you're here, you go to this little show navigation thing, the little 3 books there. And when you enable class notebook, it will automatically generate a book for every one of your students, which if I'd been using this right from the beginning, I probably would have got them to use the notebook for various activities, to use their own individual ones. So these are notebooks where only I and the individual named student can see what's within them, and I don't think any of my students have used their named notebooks, because what we tend to use is the collaboration space, which everyone can access. And within here it gives you these 2 tabs, and I've never worked out how to get rid of these and move my pages up a level, because I'd rather these just be straight under collaboration space, but I can't work out how to do that. So anyway, for me they're under sessions and recordings, and you can just right click and create a new page, and then whatever you type up here for the title, so let's just say demo, then that will appear as a page here, and you can tell the students which one to access just by clicking on it. So if we go to the Face and Politeness tab, this is the activities from a few weeks ago. It'll tell you when you created it. So this is from the 1st of March, and these are the activities that the students annotated. So this is the kind of annotation that you can end up with if it's fairly sort of simple questions and all of the students are really willing to annotate. I found that perhaps one of the reasons that it hasn't worked so well with my humour students, this is my pragmatic students, is because a lot of the things that I'm trying to get the humour students to analyse are things where you have to really pick it apart, and there isn't just one sort of simple answer that the students can necessarily think of, and in those cases they're more happy and willing to talk about it rather than annotating. But if you have these sort of very simple questions, then all of this text in black are all annotations that the students have left, and this will hopefully also be a useful resource for them when they come to revise, well in this case presupposition, because they've got these sheets and there are a number of them. So I've done presupposition, implicature, face and politeness, again slightly fewer annotations. Oh, and annotations can come in sort of on top of each other, because the way it works is that you just click anywhere and it will let you start typing wherever you want. But then you can move these little boxes around. So if a student's annotation comes in like this accidentally on top of another student because they've typed simultaneously, you can just grab and move it aside. So for this one I can just move that over here, and then they're no longer overlapped. And it's best to put your questions in a different colour text, because when someone clicks to type it's going to come in default black, and it can get really confusing if the text itself for the question and all the annotations are all in the exact same colour. So I always try and remember to put them in a different colour, and then when the annotations come in, they will come in black. So I just wanted to show you one more thing that the class notebook can do that's really handy, and that is that if you paste in a URL from YouTube, the class notebook will straight away give you the title of the video rather than just the long URL, and it will also generate a video that you can play within Teams. So then you can literally just click this play button and it should start playing within the Teams notebook. So it is possible to leave videos there for your students to play in their own time or to share with the whole class.
Hello,
and watch
I'm
together.
Taylor and welcome to Crash Course Linguistics. Sometimes we don't say exactly what we mean, and yet we still manage to understand each other. If you ask,
the only problem is with the video player within the Teams notebook is that there's no way to sort of increase the size of this thumbnail video, and also the full screen doesn't work, so you can't increase the size if you're screen sharing with students. Oh, and the one reason that you might want to screen share the class notebook rather than just having them all access it on their own is because for students who are using a mobile phone only to access your lectures on Teams, they are not able to access the class notebook. For some reason, that's just not a function at the moment that works on Teams. You can't get in if you're using a mobile phone only. And the other really useful thing you can do if you've got a video pasted in, which I'll just show using my Language of Humour class notebook, is that you can add the transcript below the video. So then the students can play the video and read the transcript of the video at the same time, which is really great. And one of the ways that you can get these transcripts if you don't want to type them longhand is if I go back to this Pragmatics Crash Course video, then you click here and click Open Transcript. YouTube generates its own closed captions, and often very kind of professional videos like this Crash Course Linguistics one will have a transcript that's actually accurate. So then you can literally just, you might not want the timestamps on, so you can toggle them off. You can just highlight this, press Control C to copy, and you can just paste the transcript straight in, Control V. And then you've got the transcript, and you can add the video as well by just taking the URL, Control C to copy, and then you've got the video and the transcript together. I will give you a hint. When you're rejecting something, what do you say? And when you're accepting something, what do you typically say? Aha, there we go. Okay, whoever just wrote no thank you and yes please, that's the correct answer to the question I just asked. Now look at the example again and try and work out how the first half has gone wrong. So the first annotation where it says, in reality, A is just asking how they prefer their coffee. Absolutely right. A is definitely asking how they prefer their coffee. Yup. Okay, so in a second here, you're going to see those two annotations that I showed you earlier, which were on top of each other, which you could drag apart. You're going to see what it looks like when they come in live. And I had about 9 students in this class all adding annotations simultaneously. And you can see that when they add annotations, there's no indication at all, either on their profile picture, which I've actually blacked out because I wanted to preserve their identities. But on that profile picture at the bottom of the screen, there's no indication of who is typing or who is not typing. And on the annotation itself, there's no indication of who's put it there or when. And I found that this is really good for the students because they lose their kind of inhibitions and their worry about messing it up or getting it wrong. And they feel more free to just type what they think. And then I can speak out loud and kind of comment on what they've written. But there's no sort of calling out that, oh, such and such a student has written this and actually that's not quite right. So I do find that that's quite helpful.